The first garment a man would put on would be his shirt. This was usually made of linen, whereas a woman would put on her shift. These went on over the head, and for a man, it would have been tied or buttoned at the neck. Men's stockings would have been visible. They would have covered the lower leg, and then you would have breeches above, whereas women's stockings were usually completely concealed by skirts reaching to the ground. In this print, we can see the rake, and one of his stockings is crumpling down his leg, suggesting he's removed his garter and giving the indication that he's someone of rather loose morals. A pair of stays was a sort of early example of a corset. They shaped the body and they provided support. A bit like a modern bra, they fasten at the back with a single lace. As you can see here, this required assistance in the process of dressing. Although there's a bit of a misconception that stays would have been very uncomfortable to wear, I think they would have felt very supportive actually, and comfortable, and not particularly constrictive. Women wore a type of understructure beneath their skirts which created a characteristic silhouette. These might have been created using a pair of jointed hoops and would have sat on the hips and then let the fabric fall down. By the 1780s, instead of having a very wide silhouette, it was more fashionable to have a large posterior, and this was usually created using a padded bum roll. They're padded with cork or horsehair, so it would have been quite a soft seat.